COVID, COVID-19, COVID-19.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Paul Gibson. I am the Chief Executive Officer of All Health Inc., a company which I started in May 2013. So we're actually in our 7th year. The objective of All Health, as the name suggests, is physical health, spiritual health, mental health, providing pharmaceuticals for the people of Barbados, for different islands, and for the hospitals and so on, and the polyclinics in Barbados. I'm also involved, of course, in the supply of personally protective equipment for persons working in a COVID environment and for physicians and doctors who may be needing to protect themselves when they're seeing their patients. I have been married for, this will be my 30th year, believe it or not. I have 2 wonderful children who I dearly love. And they are 27 and 28 respectively.
COVID.
When I saw at the end of December the response of the Chinese government to this novel virus that had found itself into their environment, I was keenly observing their responses and realized the panic that they found themselves in. I was completely overwhelmed, like everybody else, with the aggression and the infectivity of this novel coronavirus. And when I saw the deaths begin to escalate across the globe, I said, Houston, we have a problem.
COVID. COVID.
Some of the things that I think that are critical to note about COVID and the impact, if you want to say the positive impact that it's had. The whole digital existence of the world has been ratcheted up to a level where we are now doing more banking online, paying our insurance online, we are doing shopping online, the use of technology. Some persons have been forced to learn things like Zoom, and to know how to communicate with their loved ones. The whole matter now of the unemployment that we're facing in the country because of COVID, we're having persons wanting to share of the abundance of what they have to give to those that are in need. I'm seeing acts of kindness that I've never seen before, and acts of selflessness that I've never seen before in the Barbadian context. We are very giving and loving people, but I think that it has really gone up a couple notches in this environment. People looking out for the aged and the elderly. I want to celebrate the nurses that have been assiduously working with patients that were not well, and the ones doing the swabbing and the testing at the polyclinics. All in all, I think there are so many people to be praised and celebrated. Those persons that got COVID that are taking care of in the quarantine, working in the quarantine centers, the supermarket attendants who are keeping people fed in Barbados, and most importantly, the maids and the cleaners and persons that are making sure that surfaces are wiped, floors are mopped, and that we are free of COVID. The security officers who are spraying their hands, I mean, we are celebrating them all, and we want to take this time just to celebrate the wonderful job that they're doing.
COVID. COVID.
One of the challenges I observed early in the pandemic was that the prices of things that I would normally carry at All Health Inc., they just, I mean, the prices just went through the roof. So a product that would normally cost $180 for isolation gowns all of a sudden became $300 something. And it was that people were treating PPEs like a commodity like gold or oil, and that began to have an impact on the cost of treating COVID-19. I remember I bought some products from Canada, and at the time they were reasonably priced, and you know, they took a bit long to get here, and I had tied up some funds in it. So I had to start to shift and navigate around that. So it was a challenge for me. The income had decreased somewhat, and I realized that it was important that I made sure that I balance the funds and balance the income and the revenue and the cash flow and so on, like everybody else that was running a business. I then decided to lean a little more over to PPEs, and I did some investments in that. But of course, like everything else, the manufacturing levels started to ratchet back up again. So what I would have bought things for at the high price, they began to come down. So then my prices looked high. So then I had to take some hits on some of the investments I would have made. Family life was impacted in terms of, my wife was studying and wrapping up her PhD or ED in education. I have my young people were doing their thing, and they were working through. They had a lot of time to be reflective. It was very emotional. I remember even my daughter even traveling and coming back and having to be quarantined. So my son will speak about online schooling and how it was a change and getting accustomed to that. It was it was different for everybody and challenging for everybody.
COVID.
So as we navigate our way through COVID, we still have to vaccinate, get what we call herd immunity, which is to reach between 70 to 85% Barbadians vaccinated. We want to make sure that persons continue during that process to still get social distance, sanitize, and to wear their mask. That people are also staying out of places where they can become infected and infectious and infect other people. Going forward beyond this, I think that there will be lowering of protocols in terms of quarantining, the duration of time. I think that when you have your both vaccines now and get your booster in 12 weeks, that you will be allowed into countries a little more freely. There'll be a lot less quarantining, and that some things will begin to ease a little bit. But we always have to guard against that wave where we drop our guard. It's not business as usual. It is really business unusual. But we are up to the task, and we're ready to commit to growing, expanding, and evolving with the technologies that are available, whether electronic receipts, whether we look at doing more Zoom meetings and Zoom calls, which is the norm nowadays, making of videos so we can communicate our messages to our customers in a concise, compact way. And so we are navigating the space in a way that we think will keep us ahead of the curve going forward. It is tough, it is different, but it is exciting.
COVID-19.